But eventually, once I was world champion, I'd get like $100,000 a fight, but I'd give 20% to my manager. Then the UK, with the UK taxes, 40-50% would disappear. And sometimes you only fight twice a year or whatever. I was certainly not rich. I didn't consider myself rich.
So you get like 30 to 40% of the money.
Yeah. And I didn't consider myself rich. Like 30-40 grand chunks, twice a year, maybe 3 times a year. Living in London rents, need a car. You're trying, you're not rich in any way. And that's actually the reason I retired, because I woke up one day and I thought, I'm giving 6 hours a day of absolute focus and energy to this. And I believe I'm smart enough that if I put that much tenacity into something else, I can be a multimillionaire. I truly believed that. I was like, I've realized now I've reached the pinnacle of kickboxing. My choice is either to change over to MMA, which I was offered to do earlier in my career, but at the time, the kickboxing contract paid more money. I had to pay the bill, so I went kickboxing. Change over to MMA, learn to wrestle, change over to UFC, blah, blah, blah. But this is also like 7-8 years ago where even the UFC didn't pay the money it pays now.
But the UFC still doesn't pay that much money from what I understand.
No, if you're like top 5 or champion, yeah. But most of the dudes you're going to see there in the prelims, they're getting 10 grand a fight, 9 grand a fight. It's nothing, right? So it'd be like starting my career all over again. And at the age of 28, I thought, I don't have the gumption to start again. I've been through hell for this. I've broken my hand 8 times. My ribs have been broken. I don't want to do this all over again. So
what do you do when you realize that, hey, maybe I don't want to keep fighting?
I decided to get rich.
What does that mean to you? When you're sitting there, you're getting, $30,000-$40,000 kind of net on a per fight basis. Is rich to you like, hey, I want a couple $100,000, $1 million, $20 million, $1 billion?
I wanted 30 or 40,000 every month.
30 or 40,000 every month, so about $500,000 a year, give or take.
Okay. I thought if I had that much money, I could do whatever I wanted.
Okay.
That's what I decided.
So what's step 1 that you do?
So step 1 is, maybe that's how we ended up here together, my friend. Step 1 is decided to be very logical about it. Chess player, right? So it's like, I want money. What is money? How do banks work? How does credit work? What's fractional reserve banking? All these things we now know to be the biggest cons of the century, right? So I'm sitting there researching money for days and days and days. And then I get more mad because I'm like, whoa, money's trash and I don't have any. Now I'm really annoyed, right? I thought like everyone else did that, everyone puts their money in the bank and the bank takes some of other people's money and lends it out. I didn't know they invented it from the sky. I still at that point thought money was linked to gold. I didn't know nothing. So I'm learning all this stuff and I'm getting really angry. I'm like, now this is really annoying me. So anyway, I had a piece of paper there and I'm in my research phase and it start writing down some dude on YouTube. I don't know who he was, some dork. He was a pro gold guy. This is before, Bitcoin was probably around then, but like early. He was a pro gold guy saying buy gold, buy gold, buy gold. And he was saying the difference between an asset, a liability, et cetera, et cetera. So I started trying to write down what I had. I was like, I have an apartment, I have a BMW. I'm in good shape, but I already use that for fighting. What can I do? I can play chess. I'm just writing down the things I have and what I'm good at. And then I kind of realized, I was like, I've got like 8 girlfriends. But because I was traveling the world and if you win, you get a ring girl. It's kind of like she's banging the winner, right? You win a world title, you get to choose the ring girl you want. It's pretty easy, right? So I had a girlfriend in Slovakia, I had a girlfriend in France, I had a girlfriend in England, all these girlfriends.
Do they know about each other?
No.
Okay.
But they find out pretty soon. So I had all these girlfriends, so I'm like, maybe I could open a strip club and like be a pimp, and, be a gangster about it, And then that opening a strip club
that's literally the first thing you thought about was opening a strip club?
Well, I thought I have these beautiful girls. How can this is before like Twitch existed. So I was like, what can I do with these hot girls? I was like, it's just an asset, right? There's these girls and a lot of them were messaging me. They thought I was this millionaire world champion. They all wanted to come London, live with me and thought I was a big boy millionaire and all this stuff. So it's like they do
because of social media.
Well, partially because of that. And also because they met me. I turn up, I fight, I win the world title, I leave. We're texting each other. They assume I'm this big boy, right? So I'm kind of like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I thought, man, I investigated strip clubs, way too much money. But this asset class of beautiful women was kind of on my mind for a few days. And then by absolute coincidence, I stumbled upon somewhere on the internet. I was on one of those websites where you used to download like free games and bullshit from. And in the corner somewhere it said, hot girls want to talk to you now or something. I said, hot girls. So I clicked on that, not because I was interested, but because I thought I have hot girls. And it was one of those webcam websites. And I was like, so these girls sit here and talk to dudes for money. So I'm going to get my girls to
and they're naked. They're just talking. How does it work?
It's 50-50. I mean, it depends on the girl, depends what she wants to do. But the majority of the job is not based around being naked. The majority of the job is based around being entertaining and being easy to talk to. And the guys who are talking to you need to find you, that you need to remember their name, remember their dog's name. You have to be smart. You can't just be a girl and be a bimbo and be naked and make money. You have to be really smart, charming, interesting, happy all the time, positive. Mm-hmm. And I thought, I'm going to try this. So I messaged all 5 of my girlfriends, told them I had a job for them, explained to them what I was going to do. I was going to launch this company. 4 of them agreed. All 4 flew in, sat them around the same table. They were all like, who's she, who's she, who's she? I'm like, well, you're all my girlfriends. 2 more left. And then 2 stayed. And that was the beginning of my little attempt at a webcam empire. And I put the girls there. And my role in it all was I did all the tech side of stuff, which is the first thing, of course. And then also, and I get called a pimp a lot. But the reason I use the term is because I don't see it as a negative term. I see it as positively inspirational and motivating person. I'd motivate the girls. I'd make sure they did their job properly. If they had a bad day online, I'd come up with a good excuse for them. Oh, it's been a football game. It's been really busy. Don't worry. You're so beautiful. Don't be upset. You did better than her. You did the best today. I keep everything organized, put the schedules together, all that kind of stuff. And
is it hard?
It's hard because women have to want to work for you. Okay. Women have to want to obey you. That's what's hard. And you don't do that. This is one of the biggest misconceptions. I really want to clear this up. People in the movies and stuff, pimps are like aggressive, mean men. Complete opposite. Pimps are more like James Bond. James Bond's a pimp. He sleeps with a girl to get information. He doesn't care about her. He is absolutely and utterly a pimp. He doesn't hit her. He makes her love him. She does what he wants. He uses sex as a weapon to reward her, and then he disappears. That James Bond is absolutely and utterly a pimp. So I say pimp because everyone calls me a pimp online, tries to go, haha, you're a pimp, like I'm gonna get offended. It's like, no, beautiful women wanted to work for me, and they wanted to work for me because I displayed supreme competence. And they knew if they worked for me, they'd make a lot of money. So whenever I was out, I'd meet a waitress and say, well, look, you're working 10 hours a day for pennies. You can work 10 hours a day for me, make 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month. And over time, I just build up this big little empire of webcam girls. At one point, I had 4 locations, 75 girls working for me. And
when we say locations, like, explain what goes into a location.
I just rent houses.
All right. So you rent a house, and in the house, you just literally, hey, go live here. There's like technology set up. Yeah. And then you can basically just sit in front of the computer and literally be on the other end of one of these webcams. Yeah. And guys are paying by the minute, by the hour, whatever, to talk to you. Yeah. It's their choice whether they are doing it fully clothed, just talking, getting naked, whatever, and then you're taking some cut of it.
Yeah, basically. So I had girls who would live in the house, and
that was pretty impressive. I just broke down the webcam business.
Bang, you done it, man. You nailed it.
No background information.
Yeah, you nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed it. So the girls who lived in the house would have set amount of hours they want to do, and then we'd have rooms that they could book in and do X amount of hours. A girl could come and do 1 a week or whatever. We'd have rooms they could share. And then, very much exactly like you said. They'd go online, they'd do their hours, they'd have their regular customers, they'd get their money. And then I'd take around half of the money, around 50%.
You take 50%.
Around 50%.
Okay. Is that high or low compared to the rest of the industry?
I'll tell you why it's very low. It's low because every time a girl would quit and try and do it by herself, she'd make a fraction of the money overall because she hasn't got the instruction. She hasn't got the motivation. She's just lazy with it, right? And women have a very different mentality to money than men. If you show a woman how to make $1,000 in an hour, she'll think, I only have to work an hour a week. Whereas if you show a man how to make $1,000 in an hour, he thinks, I can make $18,000 a day. That's the difference between us. So if I had a girl working for me making $20,000, she got 10, I got 10. If she quit, she'd make 3 for herself, if that. So they made nothing by themselves. They didn't have the instruction, the motivation.
Are there other people like you doing this at the time?
At the time, I didn't know anybody else doing it like me.
Okay.
I've now discovered in certain countries, like in Romania and the places I live now, there's a lot of boys doing this. This is big business. In Colombia, Brazil, this is big. And all the big models on OnlyFans and webcam, nearly all of them work for men. Nearly every single, I would say now, if you see a model and she's really big, she's working for a man.
Okay, this is fascinating because take OnlyFans. Yep. We know it's a massive business, right? Yep. It's as much of a technology business as any other business that people want to talk about. I think people get very uncomfortable talking about some of it just because there's this element of like sex and exploitation and whatever. Where's the line, right? And I ask you because I think that you've seen kind of different variations of this. Yep. You know a lot of the players, et cetera. Is it, this is just a business and people can do what they want to do, both as the customer side and the other, and it's like a marketplace? Is it, no, there's like ethical concerns? Like, how do you view?
I have absolutely zero ethical concerns. I totally view it free market capitalism. And the reason is this: if I were to shut down all my webcam operation, I still have a little bit today. I still have 4 girls working for me. If I were to shut it all down, it's kind of like if an alcoholic walks into your liquor store and you deny him vodka, does he stop being an alcoholic, or does he buy it somewhere else? Like, you can't stop. These guys want to spend money. And on top of it, it's actually quite a positive industry. I'm telling you now, and I'll say this here, webcam girls have prevented more male suicide than any therapist, any group of therapies, anything you can possibly think of. There are dudes out there who the only pleasure they have in their world is knowing that this beautiful 19-year-old in Ukraine knows their name and remembered their birthday. That is their pleasure on the planet. And really, I'm telling you now, it's far closer to therapy than it is to sex, this webcam industry. These dudes genuinely enjoy looking after the girl. The girl genuinely becomes friends with the dudes. And overall, it's a very positive thing. I've had girls work for me who had one boyfriend their entire life, and they met him when they were 17, and now they're 25. They're with the same guy. I have some girls working for me who
so they basically, they're in a relationship.
Yeah,
and
it's just money.
Pure work.
It's just money. It's just work, right? It's just, no guy touches them. It's all digitalized. It's all just pixels on a screen. Obviously, you have the odd girl who's a complete hoe, and she'll be a cam girl and also a prostitute and stuff. But if you can make $30,000, $40,000 a month from a computer, why would you go be a hooker? Why would you get up and get dressed and go out there? Like, why would you even do that? Like, a lot of these girls are a lot more pure than men will give them credit for.
This is fascinating to me because I think that people look at it the exact same. Yeah. Right. Most of like the general public, if they hear you talking about webcam girls and like this whole business, etc., they immediately like, oh, that's prostitution.
Yeah.
But it coming from like a technology standpoint, not having thought a lot about this before, there's a very interesting world where you start to think about like, okay, if it's a real person, then there's ethical concerns. What happens if all of a sudden it's just literally a avatar?
Yep.
Right. And it just looks really, really real.
And that's starting to happen now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're starting to get like, there's a couple of accounts on some of these webcam things, and it's like a Barbie, and it is a girl controlling the Barbie, but she like controls Barbie. She has a personality for the Barbie. No, literally, it's a Barbie doll.
Oh,
and she's like controlling the Barbie, has a personality for the Barbie.
That's
and
a little
like
weird.
It's weird, but the world. But hey, the world is weird. But my point is, I didn't have ethical concerns because the girls, no one exploited the girls. I made girls rich. I didn't exploit women.
Are there female bosses in any of these organizations?
You do usually have like a girl boss, which is usually the best cam girl.
Okay.
So you do have a girl boss, but there always has to be a man at the top. There's because women won't give their money to a woman.
What do you mean?
If you had a woman who was in charge of a bunch of women, all the women at the bottom would look up and say, why is she not on cam? Why am I giving her my money? Whereas a man, they can go, but he's the man. If they truly respect you, they understand that you know things they don't know. Basic things, my friend. Basic things.
So no woman's ever run one of these organizations?
I don't know, maybe, but I never met one.